All right, we're live.
Okay. Tonight is the grounding and protection class that we do between different topics and everything like that. Tonight's focus is mostly going to be about different ways, as usual, different ways people can ground and everything like that. We actually went into the library to find some other stuff. Also, we're going to talk about ways to ground, center, and cleanse your area after you get through doing any kind of like ritual, ceremony, spell work, anything like that. So, but yeah, next week starts the folklore, deities, and superstitions, which we already have a nice list. Thank you, by the way. Yeah, I'm contemplating talking to a friend of mine who's very familiar with the topic of jinn. So, see if I can finagle him over here to do that. I don't think it's going to happen, but we'll see about it. We do have a person who has agreed to come up and speak on their religion. They are a ordained minister of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. So, yes, we know those kind of people too. But he's agreed to come in and kind of do the rough explanation and everything like that. So, but yeah, we're planning on doing the folklore, deity, and superstition class for what, about 4 or 5 weeks?
Right now the plan is 4, but it's subject to change as needed.
Okay. Alrighty. So.
Might I recommend that you probably bring your volume up a little bit? It's a little hard to hear you because of the AC.
Okay.
Speak like you mean it, sir.
You don't want me to do that.
I might actually be able to hear you.
You don't want me to use the sergeant voice. It's fairly loud.
Not the sergeant voice.
Put it down.
The volume on that it's a lot. I've been trained most of my life to speak that loud. I have a large family. We're all very loud. So Crystal can attest it gets deafening in an enclosed space with my family. So, all right. So, first thing we're going to go over is out of the book, The Witch's Book of Self-Care: Magical Ways to Pamper, Soothe, and Care for Your Body and Spirit by Erin Murphy Hiscock, and this is the same author for The Green Witch. So basically what they're going over with this one is it's a lot of breathing exercise and everything like that. So what to do? The first step is, and we'll see about getting these pictures posted, getting them in the comments and stuff like that. Close your eyes and take 3 slow breaths. Visualize a light at the core of your body. What you consider your body's core is up to you. You should locate it. Some people locate it around the heart, others the solar plex, and lower in the abdomen. What's important is that it makes sense to you as the location of your core. Visualize a tendril of light growing down from your core towards the ground. See it reach down through the surface, deep into the Earth's core. Visualize your tendril of energy meeting the energy of the Earth. Draw some of the Earth's energy up that tendril as if it were a straw. Bring it up into your body. Let the energy of the Earth fill you. If you're tired or low on energy, you can use this Earth's energy to replenish or rebalance yourself. If you are jumpy or buzzing with extra energy that's making you jittery or flighty, then once you have connected your energy to that of the Earth, visualize some of your personal energy bleeding off to be absorbed by the Earth. This process is easier to visualize if you imagine the energy of the Earth to be a different color from your personal energy. So, with that, a lot of people when they do the books and everything like that talks about different ways to ground and everything like that, they choose the clinical definition of grounding, which is connecting to the Earth. As we have discussed up here many, many times, you ground how you ground, and whatever's easier for you, whether that be earth, air, fire, water, movement of kinetic energy, whatever it is that is more applicable for you to do, is going to be best. So for me, even though I am a fire sign, I can ground out not necessarily with the earth, but with the core of the earth. And I do tend to do the same thing. I may not sit, but I will rub my feet into the dirt and I will just push all the way down into the core and draw some of that energy back up and just let it cycle back and forth, up and down. And you can do the same with, a river that you're sitting next to if you're not in it, flowing water, wind blowing, things like that. It doesn't have to just be the ground. Yes, the clinical definition is the earth, but you can do it with fire, water, air, whatever you are most comfortable with doing.
The plaques in here.
Pardon?
The plaques
in here in the
If
shop.
you have a battery.
Yes. If you have a battery, like we discussed several classes ago, if you have your own battery set up at the house, you can do the same thing with that battery as well. Especially if you're in the same room with it and can visualize it, it's much, much easier to do. And what they said about picturing that energy that you're connecting to as a different color from your own, that does make it a lot easier to kind of see the flow passing each other as different colors. From my own personal experience. But essentially, what we do is, this is a way of doing things. It's not the way of doing things. Feel free to do your own experiments, do your own research, and find your preferred way of grounding, whether that be through an element or through kinetic energy, or whether that be through the flow of music, the rhythm, however it is you feel most comfortable grounding. For some folks, it's driving down the back roads in a car, listening to music. Some people, it's sitting in a quiet, dark space and just being in the empty. It's all about what you feel most comfortable with and what you feel most connected to as a source of energy. So, I heard the book creaks. So, another method that they talk about in the book, I don't fall in this category, but for those of you who may work in an office building or in an office or something like that, this is a good method. A lot of people have a tendency to eat lunch at their desk because they feel it's helping them save time and they're getting more work done. If you're not allowing your brain to disconnect and separate for a certain amount of time, you're not actually being as effective as you think you are. So essentially on breaks or going down for your lunch, leave your desk. Go down to the lobby or outside to eat your lunch. Go, when you go to the bathroom, instead of going to the bathroom on your floor, if there's other floors in the building, go to the floor above you or the floor, one down and use different bathrooms, because it breaks up the monotony and it allows your body to refresh. And if, bonus points if your building has stairs and you can get down them or use them for at least a flight, either direction, down or up, you can focus on your breath while you're doing so and actually controlling your breathing and actually using that slow, steady breathing and that time walking to kind of recenter and re-ground yourself. And it helps kind of re-energize you, because all of us are very familiar, especially at a certain point in our lives, with the dreaded 3 o'clock fucking drop in energy. Yeah. And there are ways to beat that. The people say, wait for at least an hour and a half when you get up to not have coffee. And I'm not suggesting that for anybody.
No.
Anybody at all. You. I'm not telling you not to have your caffeine.
Everybody should try that.
First thing I get up,
if
I
you feel
hit
like
that
you
coffee
want to, do the whole, no coffee thing for an hour and a half right when you wake up. It does make a chemical difference with the energy level in your body. I am not telling people to do that. However, you play at your own risk. It's called anti-murder juice for a reason.
I want to play the person for everybody else.
So, but no, and it's just a way to kind of break up the rhythm of the day, to step away from your desk, to have a moment to, walk down a few flights of stairs, or just walk down to your, ride the elevator down to the lobby, walk
Basically
outside.
makes the mind disengage that
Yes.
autopilot.
It does. It disconnects and disassociates from what you're doing just long enough for your body and your mind to actually refresh. And if you have, a long enough lunch break, go downstairs, go outside, sit, eat your lunch, listen to music. If you happen to have birds near where you work, listen to the birds. But a lot of that is your body actually being able to disassociate with what you're currently doing, shift to a new target, be effective with that, and then disconnecting from that, shifting back to a new target. It's that work balance. A lot of people will tell you that, like a lot of people who research and study, you're only effective studying and researching for about 30 minutes. And you need to take about 30 minutes after that 30 minutes to allow your brain doesn't go short-term memory, long-term memory, and it can't do multiple things at once. Like, it can't pull more into short-term and then take it into long-term memory at the same time you're pulling more in short-term. So you actually have to stop, wait for about 30 or 40 minutes, and allow your mind to shift that into long-term memory, so you can actually go back and actually be more effective at researching and learning new things and everything like that. I just learned that a few weeks ago.
So where does the ADHD person's hyperfocus come in?
That is a whole ass nother animal. The hyperfocus, that is a whole
If you find
nother
something
animal.
that squeezes the dopamine button,
Yeah,
it's not hyper focus, it's an inability not to focus.
yeah.
Because what you're doing feels good, and you will press that button until the button runs dry.
Mm-hmm.
You are the rat.
No, I'm just saying though. I mean, if you are one of those people, I don't know whether it's blessed or cursed,
Yeah.
they can do the rabbit hole and the deep dive without coming up for air.
It is a middle ground between a blessing and a curse. I have found out personally myself. It's a middle ground heavily.
Depends on how useful the rabbit hole is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there are probably people watching.
Usefulness has nothing to do with how interesting you find it.
No, not at all.
I'm a history teacher. There is no call to know as much as I know about the Bronze Age collapse when we teach U.S. history. But I know it.
Nothing wrong with that.
But no, and anyone who has ADHD and who has the hyperfocus problems and everything like that, they'll tell you, it's kind of a bag of marbles. Either it's going to all come out and be perfectly smooth and wonderful, or somebody took that bag of marbles and threw that bitch against the wall, and it's all nice little jagged pieces, and it's just fucking weird and wrong. Yeah.
I just wanted to put that out there for
Oh,
people
yeah,
on the
no,
internet that are sitting there going, but I don't study that
Yeah.
way.
No, and people who have ADHD and hyperfocus and everything like that, they've figured out how their personal little flavor of squirrel works. And it's different for everybody. It's different for everybody. I know me. There are certain things that I will squirrel on and achieve absolutely fucking nothing. Nothing at all. And TikTok is the goddamn devil.
Let's go research.
TikTok is the goddamn devil. And I know there's some things that if I catch on, it is hugely beneficial to me. I've sat up here for hours and hours and hours researching white pages, medical research for a bunch of different things, and found a lot of good, useful source information for future projects. And there have been times where I was supposed to do something at the house, and then all of a sudden, TikTok.
And see, it's not TikTok for me, it's YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube's the devil for me.
Oh God, yeah. YouTube's just spends.
Because unlike TikTok, I mean, with YouTube, you can actually go for one subject, and then you don't even have to search. You just links you to no more videos.
Oh, yeah.
And they're longer than 30 seconds. A minute.
Oh yeah. Oh God, no. If I catch one, oh man, it's bad. because there's a couple of people I follow on YouTube
I've lost
that
time
are-
on YouTube.
that are
Significant time.
One gentleman, Dan Brown, is he's a historical fiction author, but he researches actual legitimate history when he
Yeah.
writes his books, so he can get it as close as possible and still be part of his fictional story. And he's got one story he's working on now that takes place pre-Bronze Age and into the Bronze Age, and he's been doing years worth of research on this. And his actual YouTube channel isn't about his stories; it's about all the research he's
About how he
compiled.
gets to his stories.
And he'll tell you, he's like, I'm not a researcher. If you have a source that if you hear something from an actual researcher, an actual archaeologist, they're probably right. I am saying what I have found through articles and research and everything like that other people have done. He makes it very clear he is not an archaeologist,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of really good information on the Bronze Age and what they believe the culture was and everything like that. And I've gotten sucked into his videos for a hot fucking minute before.
Wake up there. Or look up and there's daylight outside
Yeah, that has happened.
when the night starts.
Yeah, that has happened a couple of times.
You're
Yeah.
watching YouTube videos and all of a sudden you start hearing,
Is that birds?
That's a morning bird.
Son of a bitch!
This will be a bad day, Tater.
It's not bad unless you do it if you do it on the weekends. It's when you do it during the week.
That's just
That's what I'm
with
talking
reading.
about.
Like YouTube sometimes, but it's mostly with reading.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm very interested in the book. Like right now, I'm reading a book about dragons and military.
Yeah. Oh, I've had books that I could not put down. Like the only reason my brain shuts down is because I've reread that paragraph at least 5 times, and then about the 10th time I've read it, my brain goes, "Oh, fucker, you're starting to repeat yourself. Go to sleep."
I've had to specifically leave the book in the car because I was going to bring it in, but
Yep.
I had to put it in the car.
Yeah, I've
I tear up some more.
So,
So back
can't
on
tell me
point. We're swirling, swirling, back
squirrel
on
is being
point.
reined in. Hold on.
We can swirl later.
So, as
Here
we were
today.
talking about, we
That's
did,
what's different.
we did dig into.
You don't let us have the side quests that we normally do.
We did dig into some of the books and everything like that, and found a list for different herbs and stones that are good for grounding, protection, things like that. And we will get pictures of this. I'm not going to run through this 2-page list for protection. It just ain't happening on just herbs. So some of the quick things are like African violet, eucalyptus, fennel, fever wort, unless you're allergic to fennel.
Fentanyl?
Mustard,
Fennel.
Everyone's allergic to fentanyl.
everybody's allergic to fentanyl. Pennyroyal, pine, primrose, raspberry, St. John's worts, tulip, valerian, vervain, yucca. So the list, the picture will be taken and put into the comments by one of the people who deal with the Fey magic. So that's the rough for protection for herbs, and then we'll get it posted into the comments. So stones, however, the list is surprisingly short, unless you're my grandmother who believes that every rock is a protection rock. You go throw it hard enough.
Right.
Or swing it.
Yeah, it is what it is. Man, it had a lot of good sayings. So, stones for protection are things like Apache tears, carnelian, chalcedony, diamond, emerald, flint, lapis lazuli, malachite, moonstone, mother of pearl, obsidian, turquoise. And speaking of malachite,
So I have a question. Did they get the Cherokee tears from the Trail of Tears? Or?
the Apache tears?
Yeah.
No, there's actually a story behind it that someone told me a long time ago, and I will probably fuck this story up, but please do research the folklore behind it after I say this, because I'm probably going to screw it up 6 ways from Sunday. So, Apache tears, the folklore behind it is apparently, the gist of the story is that a tribe fled to the top of a mesa and was being slaughtered wholesale by an enemy. villagers were requiring so much that at the base of the mesa, the tears solidified into the stone that is now called Apache tears. That's the gist of the story. Please
Yeah.
go into and research the folklore
a very light
on
touch
Apache
upon it.
tears. Yes.
For those who need to know, there is a place in Arizona that you can go and literally take out Apache tears.
Yes. It is only found in one place.
Yep. And so there's like you can go and find thousands of Apache tears.
Yes.
Yes. No. I have obligations.
You were this close.
Almost. You almost.
The first
So-
answer was yes.
You almost tricked her.
But
Such a relationship.
and if y'all are curious, the books are up here at the shop, and we can link the titles and everything like that where the information came from. So, but as I was saying, so fun note about malachite. So malachite is one of those stones that dissolves in water, and we just happened to find something that is ridiculous and ludicrous and shouldn't exist. So, for those of y'all who can't tell, that little bit right there is petrified coral and druzy quartz. The stuff on the outside is malachite and azurite. And that is a big old piece of coral.
It's an alien rock.
So, a few of our friends are rock hounds and geologists, because it pays to know experts. Essentially, the gist the geologist gave us was the convoluted story behind this rock is basically its existence happened because a sea cave formed, drained, sealed off, was empty long enough to petrify, develop druzy quartz, and then be close enough to a copper deposit to develop malachite and azurite, because malachite is usually near copper deposits. So, in a sense, this stone should not exist at all, but convoluted.
Makes you wonder if there's a cave in that somewhere. And that's the
Oh,
piece that came
I
from.
have no idea. We bought it from a lady who was tired of hauling it around shows. We have reached out to the A&M Geology Department, and we're trying to schedule a time to get it and samples down there to them so they can test it and verify the legitimacy of it and everything like that. I'm not a stone person. I can't tell you if this is real or not, but it's pretty. And if it's real, it's weird.
That weighs a lot.
And it weighs a lot. So, but that was the neat rock to show for today. I set it right there. A little bit out of the way.
He got to do show and tell. He's so happy.
Yeah, I'm really proud of that rock. That rock is cool, even if it is fake.
It is cool. Love that rock. You
I have
didn't
good
to
rock.
carry it.
Program. I have good rock. So,
Caveman.
yes. You're just now figuring that out.
Oh no. No, I'm pointing out. That was me pointing out the obvious.
Okay.
So, going over stuff like that with the cleansing and protection and everything like that. Today we said we were going to focus a bit more on actually cleansing your space after you get done doing ceremonies, rituals, and spell work and things like that. So, me personally, and I will only ever speak from my point of practice. The way I do it is when I get ready to set up, because, well, for those of you who can't tell, I am not indigenous to this continent, not even by a long shot. So for me, it's always been a personal thing. I offer gifts to the land spirits that are here, the ancestors that are from here, and everything like that, to be polite and make sure it's okay and kosher with them to call on my ancestors and my gods from way over the ocean. If I get a good vibe off of it, I proceed. If I get a bad vibe, I don't. That's a me thing. You do you. Yes, clearly. But what I do typically to cleanse an area after I do my work, and for those of you who've heard me mention it before, my personal path is, to sum up in a nutshell, I get fucked up and talk to my ancestors. That's as simple as I can describe it. So for me, a lot of what that is putting myself in an altered state in between consciousness and unconsciousness, and slipping through the veil if possible. Sometimes I don't have to slip through the veil, and my nana just yells at me from the other side. It does. It does.
Don't make
Give
Nana
slap.
mad.
No, it's worse. It's worse. But for me, when I'm typically done, what I usually do is I make offerings to my ancestors as a show of thanks for their counsel, their energy, their help, whatever it is I was speaking with them about. I offer gifts, things like, so my nana, who typically is the one I actually reach out to, smoked. So I offer tobacco from cigarettes that brand that she used to actually smoke. I will make coffee and give that as an offering, things like that. And I will do offerings of things like honey or mead and things like that for my personal path. That's one way of appeasing my ancestors and my demons. To turn around and say thank you to the local variety for allowing me to do so. I offer things like tobacco again, things like tobacco, sage, salt, a lot of things that hold value to me because I cook a lot, or I see the value in medicinally in salt and things like sage and other stuff like that. Or I make offerings of tiny bird critters because, well, it's kind of a thing. Yes, for those of you who probably just, freaked out about that, I will kill an animal and offer it to the ancestors. It just is what it is. I'm that kind of pagan.
But you're not just you. Explain. I want you to say that you don't just do that for an offering when you're practicing. You also do it for a hunt because
Yes.
you're a huntsman.
Oh yeah, no. Part of my ritual. So for me,
It has multiple
Yes.
meanings,
Oh,
not
yeah.
just for that.
So for me, hunting is a ritual. It is a ceremony. It is a ritual for me personally. So before my hunt, I leave offerings of, apples and things, pumpkins and things
For
that
the
can
forest.
be ingested by the forest or the local wildlife and everything like that. I offer it as a gift freely. Don't care if I get an animal, don't care if I see anything. That's just what I do every time I go hunt, is I leave an offering.
It's so that something doesn't bad happen to you in the woods.
Something doesn't
Basically,
bad
your
happen.
journey, your passage.
Yeah. Safe passage,
Paying for passage.
things like paying to be there.
Yes.
Not necessarily
Paying homage
even
to nature.
Yes, not necessarily. You don't show up at somebody's house when you've been about it empty-handed. I was taught that was rude. So I bring things to the forest and to the places I'm hunting and everything like that. And when I am done, if I am successful and I actually do take an animal, I make offerings again to the spirit. I will leave. I grew up very poor. We grew up eating a lot of things. Okay? So, but I will leave offerings of things like the heart, the liver, the brain. I will leave important organs, and I will drain the blood there into the earth and bury it and say thank you, because that energy, that essence can go back into the forest, and eventually another deer takes the place, or another animal that I've taken takes the place of the one I took. It's just kind of returning it back.
It's also saying thank you to that
Yes.
animal for giving its life for you
Oh
to
yeah,
sustain.
and I don't waste.
And allowing its spirit to stay in
Yes.
the forest where it should be.
Yes, and I don't waste anything. We I eat the meat. We use the hides. We use antlers, teeth, bones.
Yeah.
That stuff doesn't go to waste.
Sorry, I know that was
No,
a
you're
bit of
fine.
a squirrel.
No,
I
it's
just,
for
for
the
people
topic.
that may be offended by that, it
Yeah.
has multiple usages.
No, it is on topic because, like I said, to me, hunting is a ceremony and it is a ritual. So that in and of itself is pretty much on topic, because I am cleansing the area where I took the animal to make it calm and everything again by offering things back to it as well.
Mhm.
And yes, I will leave other offerings as well. I will leave more fruit and things like that in with heart and everything like that in the earth to just kind of give back a little bit more.
So somebody would say going walk trails or going out to some property or something that, you know, to explore or be closer to nature. It would be a form of grounding or protection to bring offerings.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be anything extravagant
No.
or expensive or anything like that. It can be dried fruit, dried nuts, things like, you know, sunflower seeds and everything like that.
Yeah.
You can leave that at the beginning of the trail that you're taking, that you're walking through a nature preserve or something like that. You can leave just a handful of sunflower seeds there. Birds and squirrels will happily take that.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to leave a whole couple of apples, leave that. It's just, it's a way of going into somebody's house because that is their house and being polite.
Yeah.
A lot of cleansing and grounding after ceremonies and rituals and everything like that. Yes, it involves you cleansing and putting yourself back in that correct mindset to shift out of that particular spell or ritual or ceremony you were doing. But a lot of it also is, you know, calming the area you were just in, you know, making everything right and back the way it was normally. So that's my personal practice. I've met individuals that will, you know, burn certain incense after their ceremonies to either as an offering or to help just cleanse the area of energies. You know, I've met people that will burn myrrh, frankincense, you know, copal, dragon's blood, a few other incense to just kind of cleanse the area of the energy and take it, the excess energy, and take it back to that neutral, normal state that it has. So, and it kind of comes down, and I say this a lot, it sounds like a cop-out answer, but it's not. It comes down to your personal practice. You know, we have we know an individual who they're just starting out on their journey and they're still figuring everything out and working from a base of zero, and they're tapping into what a lot of people will talk about, you know, genetic memory. Certain things will just click for them and they will do things instinctively without really realizing what they're doing, and then they'll ask somebody else they know, or they'll ask somebody up here, and they're like, oh yeah, well, you know, doing that is, you know, this, and this, and it just kind of clicks for them. Oh damn, I didn't realize I was doing that. So, you know, it's a lot of it you can trigger in genetic memory. A lot of it is intention placed behind the items you're using to cleanse an area. So, for example, like we carry black sage. Black sage is used to cleanse an area before and after, during doing things like astral projection, dream walking, and things like that. Any kind of divination work, black sage is really good for prepping and cleansing an area after that. You know, we also carry Yerba Santa. Yerba Santa is good for cleansing an area before you do healing magic or healing practices and things like that. You know, you burn it in the area beforehand, you do whatever ritual, ceremony, practice thing you're doing, making medicine, and then after you're done with that, you burn more Yerba Santa to clear the energy out and set it back normal.
Yeah.
It's all about putting things back the way it was when you found it. And for my wife, who is very OCD, she's over there just happy I said that.
Oh yeah, because I mean,
Yeah.
there's herbs and things that you burn like while you're doing certain things, especially
Yeah.
like spiritual work. That makes it easier to call spirits to contact, you know, to attract the ones you want.
Yeah.
You know, and then you would throw in your whatever you use to cleanse afterwards, so that they kind of know that you're done.
Oh yeah. No, definitely.
And I've seen that used in some of the practices I've witnessed
Oh yeah.
and
and-
participated in.
That is a base formula from what I've seen personally. That's the only way I can ever talk about it. Is that's the base formula that a lot of people's practice use. They use stuff beforehand. They use stuff during to actually achieve what they're doing, and they use something else after that actually goes through and cleanses and kind of just throws the signal up of, hey, we're done, everybody's finished, go home, bye.
Yeah.
Well, and some people actually do a protection circle before they actually do stuff.
Yes, and there are people who work with spell circles and everything like that for their entire ceremony. Like Crystal said, they use protection circles or different spell circles for different things, but fundamentally there's always that one protection circle on the very outer edge, and then you'll have other things inside of it to do the work. And that's some people, the gentleman who first started showing you how to do things, that was the first thing you do is, in his personal form of practices, you do a protection circle. First and foremost, right out the gate. That's how he does things.
Yeah.
I don't even do those.
And then whenever he was done, he would actually, so if he drew a circle one way to signify that he was done, he would say thank you, and then he would do the circle the opposite way as a sign of erasing the circle or closing the circle.
Yes.
I think he said most people draw their circle clockwise, and then to close it, he would do it counterclockwise.
Mhm.
I am completely opposite.
Yeah. And there are some people who will constantly draw their circles clockwise versus counterclockwise, and then there are some individuals who just don't pay attention to that and will draw them whatever way they do whenever they do the thing. It'll be one way, and then it'll be backwards the next, and forwards the other way. It comes down a lot to the person's
Personal practice.
and what you feel right in the moment.
But for a lot of people, repetition is key.
Oh yeah, for a lot of people, and I'm not knocking it. For a lot of people,
No.
repetition is key. Build that muscle memory.
Or they need that visualization of the circle out in front of them.
Yes.
You know,
Oh
instead
yeah.
of
No.
just focusing on it with their mind.
Oh no. If it helps you to do your practice and your rituals and your craft and everything like that, if it helps you
Give me
to
one second,
physically
step outside.
draw out the circle, the protection circle, every time you get ready to start doing this, and that builds that muscle memory, that builds that repetition for you, and it helps you get in that right mindset, by all means, please do so.
Yeah.
I encourage it, 1,000%, please do so. If drawing that, circle helps you, or if lighting that one particular color candle for, certain types of spell work or crafting or certain things like that, or specific songs and music for when you're doing specific things. If that helps you visualize and achieve better results, or it helps you more easily achieve your end goal, do it. There's certain artists that my wife listens to whenever she's getting ready to do her work, and it has nothing to do with, it's the type of music that this artist does that helps her get into that mindset. And it doesn't matter what kind of spell work she's getting ready to do, it's that particular artist's particular brand of music helps her slide into that mindset a lot easier. For me, I use different kinds of music for, different things, different rhythms, different beats, different speeds, for different things. But that's a me thing. If you have that one damn song that puts you in that right place at the right moment to do whatever you're doing, put that song on and put it on repeat. I mean, let it go. So, does anybody want to talk about any different forms of cleansing they've done, different items, different techniques, or anything like that?
I mean, I always suggest salt to people as just a go-to.
Oh yeah, salt is a good thing.
You can
Salt.
put things in salt to fucking purify them, spray salt around,
Yes.
salt circles. I know it sounds very demon,
Yeah, it sounds very
Salmon
supernatural.
demon.
sounds very supernatural, but if you do your research, you'll actually find that they were not far off the mark on some
No,
of their
and
shit.
they weren't.
There's an old saying and story writing that I really stereotypes exist for a reason.
Yeah.
I was like, well, why does it show people doing it this way so many times? Because that's the way to do it. Wheels are round. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter who comes up with it.
And a lot of that has to, and you know, I will always make the supernatural references and stuff like that. One, it's a really good show, and two, the writers for that show did a metric fuck ton of research for that show. Every episode, every season, they are probably the closest show I have ever seen in TV, Hollywood, anything like that gets as close as they can, as close to truth in the folklore and everything like that. And yes, things are adjusted and made different for
Hollywood.
TV and for the
Yeah.
Yeah, there is some
storyline.
Hollywood sprinkled
And
into it.
there is, and there should be, and there should be. But a lot of the stuff they do is you know, pretty goddamn spot on. Fucking, you know, summoning the crossroad demons, fucking going to the center of the crossroad and putting, you know, a black cat bone and, you know, a picture of you and a few other items inside of this box or a satchel and burying it at the very center of the fucking crossroads. That is very fucking accurate to what you're actually supposed to do when you go to a crossroads and summon something. But, you know, and there's other instances where they've used different symbols and sigils and everything that are, they're Solomon's keys or Solomon seals that have been adjusted just a little bit because they didn't want it to be exactly that thing. It wanted to be they needed it to be a little bit different. And
Yeah, so we didn't actually do it.
yeah, you know, which, you know, is responsible. Because if you're not wanting to, you know, use that particular Solomon seal,
Right.
but it looks close to what you're trying to do, you tweak it a little bit, and it's not
Yeah.
the same thing anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the one thing.
Salt is really
always a good go-to.
It is. You can take your implements, ritual implements, stones, things like that, and you can actually bury them in salt and legitimately cleanse them, remove the energy and everything out of them, and take them back to neutral.
Yeah.
A lot of people will use smoke. A lot of, you know, certain tools that I have that I utilize, I use fire. Like, I will have fire going when I typically do my ceremonies or rituals or whatever I'm doing, and at the end of it, if it is an implement that I can do this with, I will run it through the flames to help cleanse it.
Yeah, fire.
Because
If I use
fire
it,
cleanses everything.
Fire, heat. But I was going to say, as far as the salt, if you're going to be using it in bulk, please do not spend a shit ton of money trying to get the small granule
Yeah,
table salt. You can buy pool salt,
yeah.
salt to salt your driveways with, things like that, or
pickling
just
salt,
beer.
rolled
Epsom salt.
Salt is salt. God damn it.
Just don't eat it.
Yeah, don't eat it.
Now, is there an oil you can use on like woods and stuff? So that
Yeah.
you don't really
Mineral
want to put salt on.
Oh yeah,
because
no.
it'll dry them out.
So you can take things like
That's the spell. Salt in your lawn is a bad idea.
Yeah.
yes.
Don't salt too
put
long.
salt back in your ground. Don't.
Salt is salt.
Salt
Yeah.
is salt.
It won't
Lime is
kill
good.
things.
Yeah.
That being said, we didn't want any plants there.
Yeah.
But so something that we carry up here, and I'm not mentioning this because I want people to come up and buy it. It's a thing you can do. So we make something we call sacred oak oil, and essentially what it is we take an oil base. In this case, it's olive oil, and we infuse oak into it. And the oak comes from a very specific place that has been used for rituals and ceremonies and things like that for a few years. And we use pieces of that oak, actually infuse the oak and the energy into the oil, and then my wife, who is a priestess, goes back over and says blessings, does the priestly thing. I'm a dirty shaman, I don't know what she does.
Dirty barefoot shaman.
Yes, I am a dirty barefoot shaman. But she does the priestess things over it, and legitimately at that point it becomes a sacred holy oil, for lack of a better word. And you can use that to cleanse items and cleanse yourself, cleanse bowls, tables, wooden objects, altars, things like that. be very familiar with your tools and what they're made out of, because certain things you can't allow to be wet or get wet and things like that. So
So what about Purple Heart?
Purple Heart,
It's poisonous.
it's fairly toxic. You can use things like boiled linseed oil.
No, he's supposed to be making me an Athame out of it.
Oh, cool.
I was gonna coat it in mineral oil.
Yeah, mineral oil.
Yeah, but I know, but when it needs cleansing and stuff, I mean,
The mineral oil.
You can take mineral oil, and how we do the same thing with the sacred oak oil. You can do that with the mineral oil. Just slightly heat it up, and then add your ingredients that you use for cleansing, like salt, activated charcoal, sage, whatever it is you use for cleansing your space and things. Add that to the pot where you're heating up the mineral oil slightly. You're not trying to boil it. You're just warming it up enough. And then add your ingredients, turn it off, let it sit off to the side, and then if you particular practice requires you to say blessings and things over the stuff like that to make it sacred at that point, do that. And then after that, you just filter it out, and then you keep it in your area where you do your ceremonies and rituals and your crafting. And then when you're done and everything's finished, you can at that point take the mineral oil that's already been used on the Purple Heart and rub it in and use it to cleanse and clean the implement in and of itself. And mineral oil is a good oil that can be used on a lot of things.
Like I hadn't done it in a long time, but I know that back when I first used to practice, we made our own version of water,
Yeah.
holy water.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't blessed by a priest or anything,
Mhm.
but it would have like sage steeped in it, salt mixed in.
Oh yeah. If you're making a simmer pot to do cleansing and protection simmer pot for your house, after you're done making the simmer pot and you've let it done its thing, that water you can still use. You just strain the stuff out of it and put it in a jar or a bottle or whatever. And then after that, you can add that to whatever you're using to clean your floors, your walls, your windows. It's just water at that
Wash
point.
your door with it.
Wash your door with it.
Infused water.
It's an infused water at that
I
point.
was going to say, is holy water like chili? Does it get better with a couple days?
No.
I never did a lot of research into holy water.
It's basically it comes down to who done it and what they did to it.
Now it can be
What about
stronger
Eclipse
the
water?
longer you let stuff seep in it.
Yeah, the longer, from what I've seen, me personally, the longer you allow something to, and this goes with, making water from a simmer pot into medicines and tinctures and salves and everything like that. The longer you allow something to steep, to just sit there and blend in, the more strength and the more effectiveness it has behind it. That's something that I've noticed. The longer you allow something to steep, the more effectiveness and the more potency it has to it.
I mean, Everclear and a lighter will cleanse.
It's so true, but with certain teas,
151
you let it
rum.
sit too long, it becomes
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
One thing I use, before we scroll too much, is drums, vibrational
Oh yeah.
cleansing.
Did I?
Sound cleanse is a very good cleanser. Mm-hmm.
Like, no, the actual music helps me concentrate. It also helps me not yell at the kids because they calm down. I try not to do that because you never know who's allergic to what with 150 students.
Yeah.
Like,
You could sing those a few.
I can put it on the stage, I put it like places they're not gonna touch.
yeah.
Corners of the very, very, very corners of the room.
Oh, yeah.
Into the carpet.
Door frame.
And the door frame.
I've got one of my rocks hanging in my classroom.
You
You
can
could always-
rock in your classroom.
You could always take a set of plaques to the classroom.
Like,
Good.
this is literally the day I found out, this is my classroom. Right? And now, this is my classroom.
Yes. I am under rock. It is mine.
Yep.
Put a
So
set of
that kind
plaques
of,
in it.
would that be cleansing or claiming or how, like?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Yeah,
because you're
it's-
claiming
it's-
the space is yours, so you then have control to cleanse
Yeah.
and manipulate, enforce your will upon it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, this is mine. It's my space. Fuck off.
But have you saged your classroom yet?
I think I had some leftovers that were pretty.
Pretty sagey. But I mean, in for instance, where you're at
Take
in school,
Summer's
you can't
dressing.
yeah, take Summer's dressing up there.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, it's great. It's like getting choked out by a sagebrush.
Oh, it's
I love
awesome.
It.
I love
It's
it.
So good.
It's great.
I love it. It's just like my daddy's.
Find out real quick who's the demon.
Sage the microwave. Yes, but not on.
Yes, for that intentionally.
You do it
Not
with
the way you're
rosemary.
thinking.
It doesn't have to be sage. You can use rosemary.
Yeah, like we were saying earlier with the simmer pots, you can do the same thing. Take sage or rosemary and things like that, and make a tea of it out at the house, and then put it in a spray bottle. Take it up to the school with you and just spritz the floor, spritz the door frame. It's great.
Yeah.
When the
Spritz them
students
as
come
they
in
walk
and
in the
start
door.
farting at your desk, you know which ones.
are possessed.
Yes, you know which ones. They sit down and automatically start rocking and talking in tongues. Books start floating off a desk.
Oh, we can afford books. Everything's on the computer now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all iPads.
Technological.
Well, when you think about it, 150, a book for 150 students versus an iPad for one student.
It makes sense. I love
In an economic way, yeah.
Well, I like the excuse of I lost my homework. No, I didn't. Your dog did not eat a website.
Yeah.
It ate the tablet.
That sounds like a you problem.
Yeah. At that point, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I've thoroughly introduced my students to the concept of not your fault, yes, your problem.
Yes. But, so, anybody have anything else they want to make a suggestion for different types of methods for cleansing, everything like that?
Setting up cleansing altars
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
inside or outside your house.
We're hopefully eventually, once we get things sorted out here at the shop, shelving wise, we'll actually be able to sit down and start working on the altar that Mandy wanted to make.
Yeah.
We've got a very large rectangular piece of selenite and a big old piece of driftwood, and it's going to be a cleansing and charging station that people can actually come up here and utilize in the shop. And it won't matter; it'll just be up here. So, but upcoming events we have this weekend, so the shop is still closed all
Yes.
week. Do not let the
Appointment
Witchy
only.
Wednesday fool you. We are not here.
Shop is empty.
You're never here.
Despite what the wall looks like, the shop is empty.
But yeah, so we'll be down in Polk this weekend, Saturday and Sunday for
Livingston.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Livingston is the town. Polk County Pagan Market, and then we have
They're
next
doing the
week.
Belton.
Beltane Market, yes.
Beltane for this market. Then next week we have
The Rainbow Market.
Rainbow
we
Market.
have Rainbow Market,
Saturday at
Birdfield.
Birdfield.
Birdfeld.
Berkfeld 10 to 3
On
Okay.
Saturday.
on Saturday, the 11th.
Uh-huh.
And then Saturday, the 18th, we'll be in Jacksonville at Commerce Street Draft House for Aspen's Saturday Market.
Awesome, awesome.
June 1st is
And-
the
Glass House.
June 1st, we will be opening the first LGBTQ resource center in East Texas.
Yep.
And it's called the Glass House Resource Center through Alphabet Army, if you would like to go and give us a follow.
Yes. And you're going to start that about what time?
I believe we said 11 to 3.
11 to 3?
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
come and go open house. Just come see.
Some of us will be up there because we're going to go up there prior to and everything and do protections and wards and
Blessings.
and do a whole bunch of weeding
Do the
and
things.
everything like that.
Yeah.
Melee and a couple of landmines. I don't know. See what's in the closet.
So if you come up there to protest and then your car won't start, it's your own fault.
That's right.
But the weekend of the 24th through the 28th of No, the 27th of this month is Celtic Fest out in Tyler.
Yes.
We're not going to be vending out there. We decided not to vend this year
It's
for
just
no
too
reason
much.
other than we're just entirely too wore out. But please go out, check out all the artisans and crafters they have out there. Bruce the Leatherman
It's
is
fun.
usually out there for those of you who haven't seen his stuff.
That's fun.
Fucking awesome. Bruce the Leatherman is awesome. He's this old dude been doing leather forever.
Oh, I've known Bruce.
So,
Yeah.
I got some of his work.
Bruce
At my
probably
house.
has like a ton of leather.
Oh yeah.
Was he
I'm like,
I've traded yard work for leather for half hides with them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's old school. He believes in the barter and swap. But yeah, it's the same folks that do the Vampire Ball
yeah.
out of Tyler and everything like that. They
Yes.
organize and run the Celtic Fest. They're awesome. We're too spent this year to actually go out and participate in it. But please go out, enjoy the
Yes.
Celtic Fest in Tyler. And then next month, the first is the Glass House opening and everything like that. And then in town, haha, here in the
Town of
mighty, mighty
Ben
town of Ben Wheeler, is the annual Junebug Art Festival. And it'll be where it always is in the outside backyard for the Forge restaurant.
All the others make their actual June.
Yes, all the art is made by actual Junebugs. No, I'm joking.
Are they made out of jeans?
But it's a lot of local artisans and crafters. They have, there will be people doing what they call the throwdowns. There are people actually will be throwing pottery out there on wheels and everything like that.
I thought you were talking like Bosch Pit.
Yeah, me too.
That's why they call it that. They're kind of, the ladies over there at the Forge are kind of snarky, and so is the lady who puts on the Junebug. They're fairly snarky, and I love them. But that's this 7th and 8th of June, and then we have an Aspen on the 15th, and then a Pride,
On the 22nd.
and that Pride is the one
The
that's going
Rose
to be
City Pride at the new Brookshires Conference Center, and it will run from 10 to 4.
Okay, that's going to be the one that's indoors and
Yes,
everything like that.
it'll be
So
indoors.
we will be there. We will
Yes.
be participating. 'cause
Now don't forget
inside-
on
And
the
then
8th
on
is
the
Longview.
8th, we will also be in Longview for their Pride, and
Yes.
it'll be at Mod Cobb Convention Center.
So that's kind of what we're getting ready to do for the next couple of months, and then we will go into hibernation until September.
Because it's too hot.
We don't
Fact. But that's kind of what we have going on and everything like that.
We'll be
If
back when this
y'all
pumpkin
are still
season.
interested in specific things for the upcoming deity, superstition, folklore class, please leave them in comments or message the B phone, everything like that. We will try and get dug into it as hard as we can. I'm torn between starting off with the gin or with Ratatosker next week, so we'll see where it goes. So,
I'll bring the
yeah,
tonic.
both. Yeah.
Both. Just do both.
Just do both. Go from one part of the world to the whole ass different.
Why not?
I mean, that is
Next
what
week.
Ratatosker does.
Yes. I mean, you know, it
I'll watch
works.
it online.
So, but yeah, so that's it for tonight's Witchy Wednesday. We will see y'all next week. Y'all be safe.